Hey guys, Moser Negron Tech here, and today I'm going to bring you my more refined Fire Warbringer Volcanic Fissure Forge Hammer guide. This build is really incredible. It was already able to clear the game last patch. There's one YouTuber that was able to do it with a one-hander and mace. If you look at Volcanic Fissure, you'll find it there, but you know, the build is incredible. The Giant's Blood nerf is really not even that noticeable. It's only like 200-300 health, not a big deal. And let's get into it, right? So we have access to the new gems. I don't have the lineage gems yet, but a later video I'll address that. But really, what we're going to talk about is Fissure and Stampede. Now, I told you guys in my preview videos that I planned on using Stampede to clear. Now, we did not have the support gems, but if we look at some of the support gems, we have two very interesting ones to help supplement our clear. So we have Branching Fissures, and we have Crater. Now this is actually insane, right? So why is this so insane? A skill that, like Volcanic Fissure, it creates fissures, right? So it creates like 3 base. I am using Upheaval to get a guaranteed extra one. I like Upheaval a little bit better than Branching, but as you see, we have full screen fissures, and we have very good coverage when it comes to mapping and high density maps. Now the thing with Stampede is that instead of having to do a 2-button build, when you get enough appropriate links, you can go Crater. You don't have to go Branching Fissure, but you know, even with just Crater as Stampede, you're gonna Stampede, and as you're moving, you're gonna generate fissures. And you see, even without that aftershock from the Stampede, you generate and trigger those fissures, because otherwise when you get the fissures, you generate it one time and that's it. But as you see with Stampede, we generate it. If we get an aftershock, the aftershock triggers it again. So that's really important to get your aftershock chance high up as well to really maximize your damage. For a single target, you're gonna set up a couple well, let me redo this. You're gonna set up a couple fissures. You're gonna warcry through your forge hammer, you're gonna break it, and then you're gonna do a Sunder or a supercharged slam, whatever you want. And with Upheaval on Sunder and with aftershock chance, every single one that repeats the Sunder is gonna trigger the fissures, and you're gonna get absolutely insane single target damage. When I said the weakness of the build was map clear, I actually lied, because as you can see here, even with Crater now, it works on a Stampede. You set it up, and as you run across, you're gonna trigger it. Now this is just a 3-link, right? If you get a 4-link and you get more area investment, you go Branching Fissures on this. Now watch this. Now you get Crater, you get much more fissure coverage, and it's just so beautiful. Now keep in mind, as a warrior, Warbringer, you warcry. Now you're warcrying super fast, and you're exploding corpses. So you're exploding corpses, you're getting coverage that way. If you want, you can instead of the block, I have been testing Anvil's weight, because with this new notable that I talked about in my last video, the fully broken armor effects also apply to fire. So it really got stronger than last patch. Sunder did get reworked, but when you look at Sunder and you look at the new Sundered armor for 6 seconds until fully broken, Sundered armor is a debuff that can be applied to enemies with fully broken armor. This effect stacks with the target's normal fully broken armor. Now, very careful. Unless otherwise specified, modifiers of fully broken armor also apply to Sundered armor, right? Enemies with Sundered armor cannot get their armor broken further. So when we look at this, it does not specify otherwise. Fully broken armor effects apply to fire damage take from hits as well. This should, in theory, work with Sundered armor as well. So very good synergy, right? But this is like, it's really cool, guys. Like, the map clear is really nice. You know, I'll put some videos throughout, like as I'm talking about this in Stampede, but you can see it's just really incredible. You know, the only thing you have to do with this build is a little bit spammy, and that's pretty much it. But that's like the map clear. Stampede is so good, and you gotta remember, like, I don't have any damage really multipliers on Stampede. Getting a 4-link, which should get easier now with the late game changes, and the greater Jeweler's Orb, it's going to be so much goddamn fun, right? Forge Hammer is incredible too. You know, all Forge Hammer is, you throw the hammer, you get some fissures, you warcry, and then you get your big single target Sunder, and as you can see, it just triggers everything. Didn't get the aftershock there, but that's okay. And you know, once you get the aftershock, the Upheaval triggers it multiple times, right? So like, a quick example here is that we fissure. Let's take Upheaval off, right? And you're gonna see we're just gonna get 1. So we only get 1 right there, right? I think it let me see, did that branch off or aftershock? No. So like once we have Upheaval, you see you have the one line. We're gonna get a little extra line with that too, right? So let's do it one more time. And as you see, like you see how it splits into two. You know, they both, you get the double trigger. So that's like, it's kind of weird. Like the Fissures are able to get triggered by other slams, but the Aftershocks also count. So very, very cool, very, very unique. You don't have to use Upheaval with Volcanic Fissure. You can use Branching Fissure as well. There are a bunch of other like newer strength gems. I need to get more level 5s, but just there's a lot of good stuff here. This is not even considering any Ignite investment either. Ignite investment as a Fire Warbringer could be really, really good too, but these are the really like, besides like a lot of the gems, some got removed, like the Tremors I think got removed, but like some of the other stuff just got better. Like you can get more Aftershock chance, you can get like 35% Aftershock chance. Very, very, very damn good. That's pretty much it. The only thing I want to talk about now is Titan. I actually think Titan will be very, very, very good. And the thing about Titan is that with Titan that you get the more Aftershock chance. So it's a little bit less investment, right? You get more defensives. And the thing about Titan is that area is going to be so goddamn good with Volcanic Fissure because it's going to scale the fissures, right? So I actually think if you want to play Titan and Smithic Katava, the original guy played Smithic Katava, that's going to be fine too. Now let's look at the tree. Now the tree changes are massive. The one thing I'll talk about with the tree that is so good with Volcanic Fissure and Fire Warbringer Titan is that, look at this. I have no attack speed investment. I feel very comfortable attacking with the 8% attack speed solid maul, right? Like this is a faster maul mace, but even with the other maces, you'll be fine. You don't have to use Upheaval. You could use Branching Fissure and you still get super. And this is only one, guys. Like this is not like the higher level end game stuff that you're gonna get, right? You can just use Upheaval and you see the branching, how big that coverage is, right? So it's crazy. And you see the big thing about Stampede is that even if I go the complete opposite direction, the movement, the slam from Stampede triggers it. The Aftershock triggers it, and the Aftershock goes all the way over there. It is crazy. It is crazy, guys, how good this build is, right? So real quick, let's get into the tree. I don't want this video to be too long. So very, very similar. As a Warbringer, we're going to go Warcrawler's Bellow, huge buff, Corpse Explode, and ignore Warcry cooldowns. It's so nice. Encased in Jade, you no longer lose the stacks of Jade if you want to, what's it called? Let's see. If you want to, oh, I already had it, but like that's a big defensive cooldown. That's more than half my health. You can get more quality and stuff like that. But very, 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 very good, right? So we're going back to the Ascendancy. Sorry about that. We are going to go Anvil's Weight. Now, I'm not sure if this is working correctly. I have been using some testing, and it feels like Anvil's Weight, like this does hit damage. Normally, you would need to do physical damage to break armor because it's like break armor to the physical hit with the support gem, but this allows our fire damage to benefit, right? And the thing is, I haven't noticed, like when I was doing some of the citadels on my old character, I didn't notice like too much of a DPS increase. So I'm not sure if this is working fully, but you know, it should in theory work, especially with Sundered and Sundered armor as well. And then, you know, I don't have my big ascendancy. I'm not sure imploding impacts will be worth it, but you know, it is what it is. You know, you can use totems. You can also use totems to trigger your fissures, but I feel like I rather, instead of like using the time to summon a totem, I rather just Sunder and get, you know, the Sunder, the Aftershocks, and the more damage that way, right? The more triggers that way. But, you know, you can do a combination. You cannot go Encased in Jade and invest in the full block. That's really, really, really good too, but there's a lot of good things here, right? So into the passive tree, very, very similar. You don't need any attack speed investment. We go down here for Warcries. Resolute Technique, I don't know if this is worth it because warriors might not need it anymore if you're in close range. A lot of Prism Guard, and I think this was nerfed too, maybe, or no. But, you know, it's a little bit rough, but we do go here. I'm a huge Blood Magic fan. I haven't really tested not Blood Magic, but because the fissures are over here, I feel like it's worth it to get this, right? Because this is like, you got to think about it, like every extra fissure is pretty much like, look, is kind of like an Aftershock, right? So like if you get an extra fissure, it's not just going to help your map clear, but it's going to help your damage as well, because that's going to trigger, right? So like they do overlap, which is very, very good, especially for the bosses with a little bit bigger hitboxes. So that's why, is it worth it? We don't know. it just came out yesterday, right? So we go back this way where, you know, again, we have no warcry cooldowns, corpse explode. We can just go here and we get our warcry stuff. We get aftershock stuff here. We get more warcry stuff here. Warring cries is very, very good because now we have rage generation 100% of the time. The thing that sucks is that I think they got rid of the gem that consumes warcry rage. So it is unfortunate because there was a gem, I think it was Rage Forge, and now instead of consuming rage to do more damage, it actually just bypasses the cooldown. But as a warrior, we don't need that, right? For Titan, that has better synergy, right? Because you can bypass the cooldown as Titan, and as you're generating rage with minimum power, you can consume it and you're good to go, right? So better for Titan, doesn't really mean much for Warbringer. We go down here, strength, Giant's Blood. I still think it's worth it. You know, you probably can. Do you make up the stats? I mean, you know, you might not make up the life per se, but that's like more stats, more armor, more life. I think it's still worth it to do. And then it gives you access to some shield skills if you want to as well. More warcry speed and warcry recovery. Like as we are blood magic and we lose our health, we just get it right back, right? So like that's very, very nice. And in situations where you can back people up with your warcry spam, you can heal too at the same time. So that's pretty nice. We go over here again, big, the Molten One's gift. Very, very good. I'm not sure if it's working as intended yet. It seems a little bit weird, but that's pretty much it. We go down here to escalation. I do want to try to incorporate Fortifying Cry. It is a new skill gem, and the only reason why I want to do that is because Fortifying Cry, it gives you some guard, it gives you some survivability, and it gives you one more warcry to press. I'm a big warcry guy since POE 1, so I love to press my warcries. I love a lot of warcries, a lot of benefits, a lot of different scaling from here, right? So now you get another 60%. Now you get 60% increased damage. Very, very, very good. Big empowering attacks, and there are some other bigger like notables and stuff like that, but I'm not sure what we're going to do. I'm not sure. I have tested heavy fire investment with like flammability, but flammability is really just like you're gonna do this if you're gonna go like more ignite oriented, and I'm not really sure. There is we do have to figure out how to get fire exposure in one of these ways. I am using Avatar Fire. The damage seems a little bit better with that. But this is kind of the tree, and this is a template, guys. Don't take this as, oh, this is what he said, right? Like, no, it doesn't work that way. So, if you want to, I'm going to put a TLDR at this point in the video. The TLDR is that Fire War is good. It has proven to be good. If you want to, if you're worried about map clear, don't. If you get your Stampede, like, if I didn't do Branching Fissures, and let's say I did Armor Explosion, this is crazy, right? Because you're breaking more armor than normal anyway, right? Like you break increased armor. So even with Stampede, like if you test this with the fissures, the armor break, just this alone is absolutely nuts. Like it is nuts. If you want to use Herald of Ash and Berserk, you can do that, right? Like combination of Warp Rise, Corpse Explosion, and like for the stragglers, you have your Corpse Explosion, man. Like the mat clear on Warbringer is insane. It is so damn strong. The fact that we can like Stampede around where like the old like Crushing Blows Titan with armor break is awesome, right? So real quick, guys, before I wrap up, and again, the TLDR, like I did not talk about Ancestral Cry. Ancestral Cry is incredible. The one thing I'll say with Ancestral Cry is that with endurance charge generation and prolonged support over here, prolonged duration, this is only one but two, you have a very good possibility that you can give absolutely insane uptime with max endurance charge investment and duration and some other glory generation and not to consume. You do have the chance to like have absolutely insane Ancestral Cry generation and glory generation. So I didn't talk about it that way because I'm not too sure, like pretty much for now, until we get some of the lineage gems too, because I think one of the lineage gems can help Ancestral Cry a lot. Is that Ancestral Cry, the one unknown really mechanic is that while you're moving, Stampede, you're moving. So when you Ancestral Cry, you're gonna trigger everything. You pretty much just use it on cooldown. It's absolutely insane. And again, I'm not talking about every single support gem, just like the really new mechanics that will help you once you get to maps and stuff like that. So again, that's it. Hope you guys have a good one, and I do apologize for not being on the seasonal character because I do have a newborn. There's just no way I'm going to be able to level up gear in solo self-found, which is what I play, and get a guide going out really good. But I will work on the mobilitics guide, so thank you. Again, leave a comment, guys, if you have any questions or concerns. I would love to talk to you about it.